Hello folks, so I did say I was going to create a Derby County video, and I have done indeed. So I have indeed got a new phone, new camera, and today we are going to be talking about Derby County, how they are liveling things up in the Championship this season. So we're going to talk about key players, we're going to talk about the squad, and we're going to talk about the signings over the summer. So let's get into it. So Derby County have been really effective during away form this season. They've played, I think they've won 8 games out of the last 17, which is the best in the Championship. And last week on Friday they played at Ashton Gate, Bristol City, and they thrashed them by 5-0. 5 different scorers: Bobby Clark, Ryan Brewster, Ben Diaz, Patrick Agyman and Lars Jørgen Selson, all getting on the score sheet there. So Derby County sits 7th in the league. They are 2 points off playoffs at the minute, as they do take on Ipswich on Saturday at 12:30. So let's get into the Derby County January transfer signings. So Derby County have brought 4 players in during the January transfer window. Oscar Fraulo is one of the 4 coming in from Borussia Mönchengladbach, which is a German side. He came in for 340k. He's only 22 years of age. He's a young, talented player, and he has got potential. Derby have also signed Jayden Bennell from Burnley on loan for the rest of the season. Bennell weren't getting any game time for Burnley. He did make an appearance against Tottenham for Burnley, but that is the only appearance he made. And Derby made 2 deadline day signings. One of them was Derry Merkin from FC Utrecht for 1.7 million. He is here to stay until June 2029, and so has Sammy Schmodics. He has signed from Ipswich. Derby have been linked with Sammy for the whole of the January transfer window. Derby did indeed have a bid rejected, but Ipswich allowed him to loan him out to Derby for the rest of the season. So now let's move on to the departures. 7 players have left Derby. Darren Robinson has gone to Doncaster for a free transfer. He went at the start of January. Curtis Nelson went to Paul Warne's side, MK Dons, who, by the way, MK Dons, Paul Warne's side, they've took 3 of our players in a year and a half. And so he signed for 241k. Derby's danger man from last season, Ibu Adams, has unfortunately left. He went to Portsmouth for 681k. He's already played 4 matches for Portsmouth and has scored 2 goals. He scored at the weekend and all. Ryan Ayambe has gone to Reading on loan for the remainder of the season. Corey Blackett-Taylor has also gone on loan to another League One side, which is Bolton. Caden Jackson has joined Bradford for 191k, and Jake Rooney has gone to Boston United in the National League for the remainder of the season. So let's talk about our squad then. So Derby's squad for the remainder of the season, you've still got 3 goalkeepers. That's Jakob Reynolds-Estrom, Richard O'Donnell and Josh Vickers. Moving on to defenders, they've got Derry Merkin, Craig Forsyth, Danny Batt, Matthew Clark, Sondre Langas, Max Johnson and Dion Sanderson. In the midfield, they've got Owen Eames, Sammy Schmodics, Ryan Brewster, Liam Thompson, David Ozo, Callum Elder, Joe Ward, Lewis Travis, Oscar Fraulo and Bobby Clark. And up top for the Rams, Patrick Agyman, Colton Morris, Andy Vyman, Lars Jørgen Selson, Ben Diaz and Jayden Bennell. Moving on to the key players, Derby have been linked with a move for Andy Vyman to leave. That hasn't yet been confirmed, but we do know that Andy Vyman is being interested. So we're going to talk about 3 players now, and they are key players for Derby: Colton Morris, Patrick Agyman and Sondre Langas. So we are going to start with Colton. Colton signed for Derby in the summer from Luton Town for an undisclosed fee. He's been a danger man in the Championship for Derby. He played 16 matches and scored 10 goals. But unfortunately for the Rams, when they did play Watford back in November, when they lost 3-2, he dropped injured in the 18th minute and hasn't been available since. He is set to make a recovery, or he is set to be back in the team very shortly, in a week or 2 times. So let's talk about the other man who had to step up for Derby, and that is Patrick Agyemang. Patrick Agyemang did indeed step up for Derby after making his move to Derby from Charlotte FC for around about 6.9 million. So he was injured for the first part of the season, so we can see where Colton Morris, he was fine, Agyemang weren't. Colton Morris weren't fine, Agyemang was. So there you go. Agyemang was injured to start the season due to hernia, so he did have to have a surgery and weren't able to play. He weren't able to play for around about 6 to 8 weeks, but he has been back in the Championship and he has already scored 9 goals, just 1 goal behind Colton Morris. He has indeed sorted out Derby County and replaced the injured Colton Morris. With them two up top, it looks like it's going to be a danger pair for some teams with Sammy Szmodics behind and Diaz and Brewster on the wings. Let's talk about a defender then, with Sondre Langas. Unfortunately for him, he's dropped injured with a hamstring injury until early March, but he was on fire at the back for Derby with his pace, agility, height, physical strength, because he is just pacey for the Rams. But unfortunately, he won't be back until early March time, preferably when we do play Portsmouth away. But Derby County look to be high flying in the Championship this season. That is me done here, and I think next time Derby should have played Ipswich on Saturday. Derby high flying in Championship. They sit 7th place with only 2 points off the playoffs. So, see you soon.